So no, it's not even that you're not taking it literally.
Wow.
You're literally distorting the verse. You're adding to it and distorting what the verse says. You can see, do you see how you have to do that with the Quran in order for it to be okay for you? In order for you have to make the Quran fit what you believe and think to avoid the Quran being wrong. You don't think there's a problem?
No, there are some ayahs which we have to reinterpret. I'm not denying
Wow.
that.
Bidda!
That's fine.
Wow.
Bidda!
There are
Hey guys, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
good
Yeah,
thing.
not bad, not bad.
So is your name Ramon or is it Ahmed?
Oh, I call myself nickname Ahmed, but it's Ramon.
It's Ramon. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Are you a Muslim?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What's on your mind?
So yeah, it was just based around the question I think you asked the previous brother about, can God essentially have a son? And I think
Yeah.
you quoted an ayah from the Quran, right? So it's like basically asking the question, can God create a rock which is so heavy that he can't lift? Now, these are very, very deep philosophical questions, theological questions. Scholars have written books and books, volumes and volumes. So I don't think this essentially debunks Islam per se. It's just a very deep philosophical question that I don't think we can quite comprehend what that means, if that makes sense.
So, sorry, what was your name again? Ramon, you want me to call you by, right?
Yeah, you can call me Ramon, yeah.
So, Ramon, when you talk about the rock, so that is something that we would call a paradox or something illogical.
A
So-
contradiction.
or a contradiction, if you will. So, the problem with the rock is that if we hold that God is all powerful, then there should be nothing that can supersede his power. However, what do we hold about God that means that he cannot have a son?
Well, he's not a physical being like me and you, right? Like
Is
me
that
and you
the
are
only
bound.
way you can have a son?
Well, I'm just giving one example, right? That he's not a physical being like me and you, where he's bound to a time or place, or he has an organ that he depends on, right? So that's a big factor in play here. So I think so that I'll say that's one point.
So, can Allah have a son in a manner that doesn't need an organ?
But then depends on what you mean by son, right? Because when we talk about son, we talk about human wife, and then them doing a certain act and then reproducing, right? So when you say God has a son, what does son mean in that context?
So, for example, the Son of God in this context would be an internal procession from God, something that proceeds from God eternally, that isn't made, that is uncreated. But that thing that proceeds has intellect and a will. And so it can be called a distinct person from Allah. But because it comes from Allah, it is his son, because Allah is the unprincipled principle. So all those things sound very possible to me without in any way negating what we know about Allah. So why isn't that a possibility for Allah?
Because he says so in the Quran. He says that he doesn't have a son, he has no partner.
Right,
That's
but
101
why
of
is that
Tawheed,
not a
basically, right?
possibility? Why is that not a possibility? So we talked about the rock, right? You compared the sun to the rock, and I told you why the rock is a paradox. But why is the sun a paradox? We've eliminated the need for an organ, and we've talked about a son through eternal procession. So
Yeah,
why
but
is
the
that
Quran
impossible
doesn't.
for Allah?
Yeah, but in the Quran, because I'm a Muslim, right? So the Quran is essentially hujjah for us. That he makes it clear in the Quran that he doesn't have a partner, he doesn't have a son or daughter or anything like that. So for that reason, he can't have one because he's told us.
So he
Engage
can't
with
have-
me.
Yeah, he
Engage
can't
with
have
me.
one
Oh, sorry.
because he. So yeah, he doesn't. He can't have one because he doesn't have one.
He doesn't or can't.
That's
Right.
where we're talking about can he or cannot. You're saying that he does not. Just because he doesn't have a son doesn't eliminate his ability to have a son, right?
Yeah, but then it's like again, it's just I don't understand how this question differs from the paradox one about the rock, really.
Because
go ahead.
so I'll repeat it again for you, Ahmed. There is nothing that we know about Allah that makes it impossible or incoherent / illogical if he had a son. If Allah has a son, that in no way would go against any of the attributes that we know that Allah has. However, if Allah made a rock so heavy that he could not lift it, that would directly go against Allah's omnipotence, because he has created an object that supersedes his power.
But him having a son also goes against his essence.
Do we understand that so far?
I understand what
Okay.
you're saying, but I don't agree with it.
And secondly, we agreed that the son does not come from any organ, but the son comes from internal procession. Okay?
Yeah, this eternal procession that you're referring to is a Christian mindset, not an Islamic mindset. So that's what I don't understand.
Wait a second. It doesn't have to be just a Christian mindset, because there are many non-Christians, for example, like even Greek Platonists, that held to a similar idea of these processions from God.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, so let me rephrase that. What I mean to say is then,
one second, Amit, 1 second. Let me drive somewhere, right? So again, my question to you still remains: what is it about Allah having a son that is paradoxical in the way that it would be if Allah made a rock that he couldn't lift? And don't tell me that the Quran doesn't say so, because you were very quick to admit that if Allah made a rock so heavy he couldn't lift it, it would be wrong, despite the Quran never saying that.
I didn't say it'd be wrong. I'll just say it's a very deep philosophical discussion, a paradox which I don't think I'm equipped to deal with, right? Again, people have written loads of books and volumes on it. It's a very deep discussion, and it's very mind-boggling. But I don't understand how essentially this. Going back to the question about can he have a son or can't he? In the Quran, he clearly states he doesn't, right? I don't know if he said he can't.
We're not asking if he does. We know the Quran says he doesn't. I'm asking, can he, man? Can he have a son?
Hypothetically.
Okay, but you have to define what that means. What does it mean for him to have? I don't get it. You mentioned a pre-essence. What does that mean again? You define it for me.
So like an emanation from God. So think about, for example, the way your thoughts emanate from you, right?
Yeah.
Like they come from you, right? And then in a sense they are distinct from you. For example, your thoughts are non-physical, but you are physical, right? So imagine the same sort of concept, but for God, who is a non-physical being. He also has an emanation, the emanation of his wisdom, which we call the word of God, the Logos. So that is one way in which Allah could have a son, because Allah has wisdom. We would both agree. And then the wisdom of Allah, well, ideally should be distinct from Allah, because there's a distinction between the person who has knowledge and what is known. It's not identical.
Yeah, it seems to me that if you're looking at it, obviously from a non-Islamic paradigm, where you're saying, I think what you're trying to get at is, if Jesus was the Son of God, that's possible simply because he's a physical being and he's got God's wisdom in him, right?
You don't seem to be getting it. So I'll just say one last thing and then give it back to logic. What I've done for you, Ahmed, is lay out for you a possible way that Allah can have a son that doesn't require an organ. That's all. So if there's a possible way, so I think this is the main problem. If there's a possible way that human beings can conceive of where Allah can have a son, but Allah himself doesn't know this, then can we truly say that Allah is all-knowing?
Yeah, to be honest, there's too many factors at play here. There's too many. He is all-knowing. He says he's all-knowing. I believe it. But this concept of him having a son, again, it's not clear to me what that means. I know it's easy for you to define that because obviously you're looking at things from a non-Islamic paradigm. But from me, which is the Quran as a hujjah upon me, I can't comprehend that fact or that concept.
Can you do it?
Can he do it?
Yeah.
Again, can he have a son?
That is the question.
It's like, again, it's a paradox. He says he,
Can
you know,
he do
in
it?
fact, okay, how about this? Can he send a prophet to hell?
Yes, he can.
He can,
Yeah.
but he won't. You're saying, right?
Yeah, he won't, but he can.
So he's saying he can do anything, but he can do that, but he essentially won't do it.
He can
right?
do anything that's logically possible, man.
So
And
saying he
Ahmed,
can.
it's logically possible for a prophet to go to hell. Just because you are a prophet doesn't mean you're guaranteed heaven.
All right.
Well, again, according to the Quranic paradigm, where does it say prophet can go hell?
I mean, according to the Islamic paradigm, Muhammad didn't know where he would go. So according to Muhammad, it was even possible for him to go to hell. He didn't know.
And technically, Muhammad did go to hell at one point and identified that it was full of women. So, you know.
That's probably a hadith or something, right?
Yeah.
Hadith.
One of
It
those.
says it says he went to hell or he's seen it.
I guess when I say go to hell, I mean stay in hell and essentially receive the.
It's
the
okay, bro.
punishment from the.
So we know that a prophet can logically go to hell. We know that. So I ask again.
Wait. Just
Can he
because
have
the
a-
prophet
can Allah-
didn't know where he's going,
Can Allah have a
that
son?
doesn't mean he's going to hell, right?
Correct.
How does that imply he's going to hell if he doesn't know where he's going?
It means that it's possible. I don't know what my Lord will do with me or you. That means he's implying that it's possible that he will go to hellfire.
No, it's just his way of saying he has no clue about what God's will is at the end, and he doesn't.
So
it's
it's
God's
possible. So it's possible for God's will to be that he goes to hellfire, right? According to that.
No,
statement.
but this goes against his essence of being just. If you've got a prophet like Muhammad who's, clean and pure, he won't send him to hell.
No,
right?
no, that's not true at all. He creates people for hell before they're in their father's loins, man.
Okay, no, that goes against his essence.
No, well, I guess that Muhammad's saying that Allah goes against his essence, because that's what Muhammad said.
Okay,
Muhammad,
okay, yeah, but again,
you get it? Muhammad said that Allah created people for hell while they were in their father's loins, before they did or said anything. Allah already predestined them for hell, created them for hell.
Yeah, this concept again about predestination, right? I don't believe that we're predestined to go hell or heaven.
That's not predestination. It's preordained. This is where you're gonna go. It's preordained.
Yeah, so God knows where we're gonna go, but Him having that knowledge doesn't change where we're gonna go. For example.
Yeah, is there a difference between? There's a difference between having foreknowledge and then being the cause of a destination.
Yes, but He's not the cause for it.
It says that Allah created you for hell, or created some for paradise. So He's the cause of where they go, not just that He knows it. He created them for a particular destination.
But in the Quran, there's also very clear ayah that tell us if you do good, you're going to go heaven, and if you do bad, you're going to go hell.
No, the Quran is also clear that you only do good if Allah wills for you to do good.
Okay, so you've got your phone on you right now, right?
Yeah, you want me to pull up the verses?
No, I'm saying that if you were to use your phone now to basically make a donation of £10 to charity, is that you doing it, or is that God?
So, according to Islamic paradigm, that's Allah forcing me to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's the thing, right? Yeah, now here's the thing, right?
Hold on. We gotta.
This is quite interesting, right? And you can bring up the ayahs, yeah, but just 1 second. What I'm saying is, clearly,
Allah gave me face, Allah.
You like that, Ramon?
All right, like I was saying, right? Like I was saying, that if, for example, you take out your phone and make a donation to charity, that's empirical evidence that I've just shown you that you are in control of your actions, right?
So, Ahmed, what you just did is you just showed how Islam is false for teaching that it's outside of reality. It's going against reality by saying that it's not your choice to give to charity, but it's Allah who made you choose to give to charity.
Right.
You see how what your theology doesn't match with reality. That's why Islam is false.
So where in the Quran does it say that? Oh, look, I'm basing my
you.
claim on the Quran, right? So the Quran clearly says those who do good deeds will go heaven. Those who do bad deeds will go hell.
Yeah. Yeah, look.
Yeah, but
no,
that
no.
doesn't negate the fact that he's literally playing puppet master. He's just telling you those who do good will go to heaven and those who do bad will go to hell. But he's actually he's the one who's doing that. The ones who do good is by Allah's will. The one who does bad is by Allah's will. That's what we're saying. So you're not really pushing back on anything we're saying.
Yeah, look. I got a few verses up here, man. I got everybody can use my article I wrote on this.
Get him before they get took down. Everybody download them.
Everybody download my article that I wrote on this.
We don't know how long they're gonna be up there.
You know, I was using an old name by Sam Shimon back then, but you know, I forgot to change my name. But it's an old article.
Nah, that's a biased website, man. You know you can't pull it.
Oh yeah, man. It's Quran verses, man. It's Quran verses, man. There's nothing you can do about it.
From a biased website.
That's in English, man. That ain't no Quran. That's in English. The Quran's only in Arabic, man.
All right, everybody, check my articles out. My name I used to go by Sam Shimon, but you know that's back in like 2002. So here's the article. But now look, bro, look. So it says. Which verse we want to look at? Which one? Let's do. Wait. Oh, I lost the other one. Hold on. Oh yeah, here it is. Let's do 81 to 81. Surah 81, verse 28 to 29. It says, "To whomever among you who wills to walk straight," right? So you will, by your own free will, walk the straight path, right? It's your will, right? To whoever among you who wills to walk the straight path, and you will not unless it be that Allah wills.
Wow.
The Lord of the world. So
Yeah,
you
so
can't,
you take that. So you're taking that literally, right?
but I mean, that's what it says. You can't will to walk the straight path unless Allah wills for you to will to walk the straight path.
But yeah, so you're taking that literally, right? That's what you're doing.
What it says? What else was supposed to take it?
But even if we took
because
it
there are ayahs in the Quran
metaphorically,
which say that God has like a hand and feet as well, but I don't take that literally. So right? So
You?
I don't take those ayahs literally. Like this, if you read this literally as you read it, I get it. That is the conclusion you would come to.
Wait a minute.
I'm
So
not
wait a minute. So you
let him land.
if
let him land.
yeah, go
Let him
ahead.
land. Did you finish your point? I want to make sure you get it out.
Yeah. So basically, that was my point. Yeah, that I'm not taking this ayah literally as it stands. But if you take it literally, then you'll reach the conclusion you did, because that's what it said literally. Yeah.
Quick question. If Allah says it is he who wills if you enter paradise, are you taking that literal?
Yeah, because he decides who goes to paradise.
Okay. Now, if he says he wills if you walk on the straight path, are you taking that literal?
No. The reason I say that is because I'm my own person. The good deeds I do, I make those good deeds. No one's pulling strings.
So Ahmed, look, I know what you're saying. So then you have to reject the Quran, because look, I am with you that you pull your own strings, that you do what you freely decide to do. The Quran, however, says otherwise, and therefore is out of touch with reality. It's going against reality. So it's false.
Yeah, so if you interpret it that way, then yes. It depends on how you interpret it, right?
It's not, there's no other way to interpret it. It's either Allah wills for you to will to be on the straight path, or he doesn't. It's what the verse says. It goes
Okay,
against reality.
so then how would you interpret the ayah that say, well, God's got hands and feet? Now, if you ask me, do I take that literally? I'll say no, right?
That's fine. That's on you.
But no, but then you can use the same argument here and say, well, it says he's got hands or feet, so obviously he's got hands and feet now, right?
Well, yes. Look, it's like this. The context tells you whether something can be figurative or whether something can be literal, right? You have context where Allah has like his hands, it expresses his hands by his power. There's some verses that express it like that. There's other verses that do not have that context that expresses his hands like Adam being created with his hands, by his own hands and stuff like that, and doesn't use it in the makes the way that Adam was created different from how everything else was created in creation. So obviously Allah uses everything for his power, but specifically he made Adam with his hands. So there's a distinction there, right? So context will tell you whether something is figurative or literal. Where in the context are you getting that when Allah wills that you will to be on the straight path, that it's figurative?
Well, we've got empirical evidence all around us, right? There's the same example I gave you, right?
Wait, stop. You can't use, I don't mean to cut you off, but you cannot use reality to justify the Quran. The Quran has to line up with reality, not you fix the reality. You're literally showing how the Quran contradicts what we know about reality. You get what I'm saying?
I can see where you're coming from, because I see the angle you're coming from. If you take it literally, then it will mean that. But essentially, there's no way around it but the way that I've explained it. So I have to reinterpret it that way, and for it to not to be literally.
You can't though. You can't. No, notice what you have to do. You have to reinterpret the verse so that the Quran wouldn't be false, so that it wouldn't go against reality. But if you just let the Quran speak for itself, you can clearly see that it's false and goes against reality.
Okay, well, you do know there are ayahs in the Quran which God has mentioned. Some are clear and some are unclear, right?
So is this unclear to you?
Yes, this is very deep discussion we're having. It's not that.
I didn't ask if it's deep. Is it unclear? All right, let me ask you this. When it says to whoever among you who wills to walk straight, is that unclear what it says? That it's talking about whoever chooses to walk the straight path? Is that
no?
Clear
That bit's fine. That bit's fine. Nope, I don't have an issue with that.
You don't wait. I didn't ask if you have an issue with it. Is it clear? Or
that
unclear?
bit's clear. That bit is clear. It's the next bit which is unclear.
All right, and you will not. So you won't walk the straight path unless that Allah wills for you to walk the straight path. Is that clear or unclear?
That is unclear.
Let's see really quick, because he just exposed himself. He said, I don't have an issue with that.
Mm-hmm.
So you have an issue with the other half of the verse. So we do understand. What do you understand by walk the straight path? For the first half, you have no issue with. What does it mean when he says, and whoever amongst you wills to walk the straight path? Quickly tell me, what does that mean?
To whomever among you who wills to walk the straight path. I mean, whoever one of us humans want to walk the right path, right? The path.
What do you mean by walk the right path?
The path that God laid out for us in the Quran about doing good and doing bad.
Great, thank you. Now the other half says, and you will not unless. What do you understand by that? And you will not unless, just right there. And you will not unless. What do you understand by that?
I can see the road you're trying to take me down, where you're trying to literally get me to interpret every part of the sentence, right?
No,
but
I'm
like
just trying to get you.
I'm not taking it literally.
You understand what does that mean? If someone says, and you will not unless, what's going on here? What's about to happen?
Guys, I know what you're going to do. If I read the sentence as it is, literally, I'm going to end up in the same boat you are. But I'm not going down that road.
So you're avoiding the logical conclusion.
I'm avoiding the literal conclusion.
Just answer the question then. When it says,
he just admitted it. He's avoiding the literal conclusion.
Yeah, so maybe there's
the literal conclusion.
So maybe there's a figurative one. When it says, and you will not unless, what does that mean?
Unless you yourself try and struggle to find the right path, you won't be guided.
Oh, okay. And then when it says, unless that Allah wills, what does it mean? Unless that Allah wills. So you won't.
I mean, if you're struggling to find the right path, then it will be God's will, and He'll guide you to the right path.
Okay, so if so, you can only walk the straight path if Allah wills for you to walk the straight path, right? If He guides
you can walk the right path if you actively search for the truth. But then you need to do that on your end, and then God will do the other half for you.
Does it say that here?
That's what I'm saying. It's not. I'm not taking it literally. That's what I already said in the beginning, right?
So no, it's not. It's not even that you're not taking it literally.
Wow.
You're literally distorting the verse. You're adding to it and distorting what the verse says. You can see. Do you see how you have to do that with the Quran in order for it to be okay for you? In order for you have to make the Quran fit what you believe and think to avoid the Quran being wrong. You don't think there's a problem?
No, there are some ayahs which we have to reinterpret. I'm not denying that.
Bidda!
That's fine.
Wow.
Bidda!
There are. Oh man.
Yo,
Dude.
Ahmed, I am picking up some things. Ahmed, you're not a traditional Sunni Muslim, are you?
No, I actually used to be Shia.
Okay.
He innovated his way out of that.
And what are you now, Ahmadi, or just like your own interesting sects of Islam?
Yeah, so basically the Quran says not to split into sects, so I don't identify as any sect.
Okay, so Ahmed, why did you come up here? Just out of curiosity, like, what was it you were trying to do? Just engage or answer something or ask a question?
To engage with you lot, ask some questions, just have a conversation. Really, I've seen some of your episodes before. Some of them you guys go a bit over the top, but sometimes you actually have some decent conversations, right? So I thought I'd just chip in my 5 pence, really.
What would you rate this one? Is this one of those ones that's over the top, or is this one of those good ones?
Nah, to be honest, like, I know some people might take it personally, but I'm not like that. You guys have your own laugh every now and then, I get it, but hey, we're all trying to find the truth, right? So, you know.
I can't find the truth unless I lose it.
Right. We got to be able to interpret something, man. You can't pick apart one sentence. That's the smallest sentence that I've ever seen, man.
All right, so let me ask you guys a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that the Bible's preserved?
Sure.
I thought you was gonna ask us something on the topic. Lord have mercy.
He innovated his way out of the
Sure, Ahmed, sure.
Yes or no? Right?
Sure, yeah, sure, it is, yeah.
So is the same Bible that we had when Prophet Isa walked amongst us?
What does this have to do with the question?
Sure.
In the subject.
Oh no, it doesn't. I was just wondering if I could ask my own question.
Sure.
Absolutely not. That's not. I have an
Oh.
OCD about this.
Okay.
I have OCD. I am like physically unable to move on to a different topic when one is unfinished, when one has not honestly concluded something. I can't move on. I just can't. Like, because if we go and I start giving you Bible and answering these questions, you are already dishonest with your own. How can I trust you to be honest when I'm answering you questions and giving you explanation? That would just be a waste of my time if you can't be honest with your own text.
Listen, we can agree to disagree sometimes. It's part of human nature. It's not
This
a big,
isn't really
big deal.
agreeing
But
to
if you
disagree,
feel like,
though,
but if you feel like, you know, you can't move on, then I get it.
But
And
this
I get
this isn't agreeing to disagree. This is literally you admitting you don't want to see the literal conclusion from your own words. You don't want to see the literal conclusion for what it is. This is what you told us.
But
And you
I
said,
agree
sometimes
with
we
what you
have
just
to
said.
reinterpret.
I'm not taking the literal meaning of that ayah. Yes,
Okay,
I agree with you.
Take 20 seconds to reinterpret it the way you want it. Let me hear it. I just want to hear what you have to say.
I'll answer it for him.
No. Go ahead. No, Ahmed, I want to hear 20 seconds. Make it quick and short because the verse is really short. What do you see in this verse? Please make it quick.
He's not learned on the subject. That's the problem.
Please stop trying to save him. Just Ahmed, can you say something really quick? Just 20 seconds on what you understand on the verse. We don't confuse us with, I don't know, I can't say anything, I don't know, it just seems a little too philosophical, it's too deep.
I didn't say that about this ayah. I said that about the paradox question. So
Okay,
what
so
I'm
what
saying
do you
about
see
this
with this
ayah in
verse?
20 seconds is simply those who are willing to find the truth and struggle to find the truth, God will lead them to the truth.
Okay, doesn't say that though. That's the point.
What is it? What about the part where it says, and you will not? You will not what? You will not find the truth, right?
Yeah, because if you're not trying to actively search the
unless
truth for
what?
yourself, God
But no,
won't
it
lead you to the
doesn't-
truth.
No, wait, it doesn't say that. It doesn't say unless you try to find it for yourself. It says,
But I'm
You
not
will not-
taking
you
it
will-
literally. Listen, the
Oh,
other
you're not-
gentleman
we're not-
next to
we're
you
not
asked me what I
And you
took
will
from the
not
ayah, right?
unless it's not literal.
I
That's
told you what I take from the ayah, but like I said, we have to agree to disagree, right? I mean, fair enough.
all right. Well, I will say that I did love your personality, man. You was able to laugh with us. I can always appreciate somebody like that. You can come back again.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you later, mate.
Take care.
All right, see you, man.